Project for today is going to be this Jonsered CS2152C Chain Saw. Customer brought it in and they told me they didn't want to deal with it anymore, so they said I could just have it if I wanted it. It was running, and then they said they shut it off, put it in the shed, and went back out to start it about a year later and it wouldn't start. So I'm thinking we probably have fuel issues, but we'll check the spark first. I'll pull the plug and we'll look down in the cylinder to make sure we don't have any scoring or anything in there, and then we'll go from there. First thing I'm going to do is pop this top cover off. I don't really care for these style clips. They're kind of hard to get off of there, but it is better than trying to find a screwdriver if you're out in the woods and need to pop it off, but you still need something to get in there to pop those. And you gotta push the chain brake on. It's a 3/4 inch socket on the spark plug. At least that's what I used on there. Yeah, it's 3/4. I'm probably not going to be able to get you guys down in to be able to see down in the cylinder, so you'll just have to take my word for it. But basically just looking for cuts in the cylinder going up and down if they run on a lean mixture or if they get overheated. They'll do that sometimes, but the cylinder looks okay on this. It did feel like it had pretty good compression when I turned it over. So I'll grab a spark tester and we'll test the spark on it next. So I'll try to get it so you can see here if we have any spark. We had one spark out of it. I don't know if the camera caught that. It's kind of intermittent spark, so I'm thinking that we might just have a coil problem is why it wouldn't start for them. So I can get it to spark. It's still intermittent, but I can get it to spark when I close up the gap on the tester. But the point of these testers is to see how good the coil really is. It should be able to jump a pretty good gap when you're testing, and that way when it's jumping the small gap on the spark plug, you're going to have a really strong blue spark, and this was kind of a weak yellowish spark. So what I might do is I'll try dumping a little bit of gas down in the carburetor here and see if it'll fire. If it'll fire doing that, then maybe that's not an issue, the spark, but I'm thinking that's going to be our issue. So I've got a little 2-stroke gas in this bottle. It's always difficult to get just a little bit to come out. I don't know if that's going to be enough or not, but we'll try. Well, it did run. I don't even know if there's gas in it. Well, there is gas in it. Looks like we're leaking gas when I tipped it. Oh, our fuel line here is off. And it feels hard as a rock. So that one, not sure if this has a 2-line setup or if it's just a single line coming into the carb. The one up in there, that's I believe that's the pulse line for the diaphragm and the yeah, there's the line coming through down in there. So I'll drain the gas out of it and we'll replace that line. I'm thinking that's gonna be our issue. Yeah, that's just rotten. I could just break it by pulling on it a little bit. So we'll replace that, and then hopefully the carburetor's okay. I don't know if the diaphragms are going to be any good. It did sit for quite a while after he couldn't get it started. I had it sitting here for about a year, I think. So we'll replace that line and see what happens. So I'm going to try to dump the gas out of here without spilling too much, which usually this doesn't go real well. Yeah, I got it out of there with minimal spilling. So the gas line kind of runs down and then it goes in like that. So I'm just gonna see if I can yank it out of here, but it's so stiff and rotten. That's what I figured would happen. It just broke. You could take it apart farther than this to do this, but if it's just the gas line, I don't want to go too far. There, most of it's out of there. And I did blow out this area with air. A couple little pieces left, but you don't want to get a bunch of sawdust through the hole in the side there when you pull the line through. See if I can get you in there. See, you kind of see the line back there. If I can get the light just right there. So then we'll tip it up. You see the line kind of curly cued down in there. And we'll pull that out of there. See if I can do this while I'm holding the camera. Gotta get a good grip on it. There we go. Pull that out of there. The line in the tank is usually not too bad. It's usually just right where it comes through. Looks like it just broke off there, so I'm just see if I can grab it here. I might have to just try to push it through. That way I'll just grab it out of the tank. I haven't had them break off like that, really. Usually they're a little bit better than that. This one's really rotten. Well, I can kind of see it down in there. I'll work at picking that out of there, and then I'll bring you back when we're running the new line. So I'm using a Tygon line. It's the .117 inch. I like to use the actual Tygon brand. I've had good luck with that. Any of the other yellow line like this, it seems like it's kind of a knockoff, so it doesn't last as long, especially if somebody runs ethanol fuel, which I don't recommend in any of this chainsaws or any small engine stuff like this. So I think we'll do it about that length. A little cutter here, snip it off. This is just like it's almost like a little cigar cutter, line cutter. So then, what we want to do is we'll cut down the line and make a taper. That way we can fish it through that hole. Otherwise you'll be fighting trying to get it through there. I'll try to go like an inch back, and then that'll fit through the hole and it'll get the other part started, so we'll be able to push through. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to show you when I'm down on this side, but once we get pulling it through the tank, I can show you. So there, got it started. So if you can see way in the back towards the top there, you can see the line is poked through. So I'm going to grab that with a angled needle nose pliers. I'll see if this one will fit in there. And I'm going to pull it through until it comes way up and out here so I can put the filter back on it. And then we'll push it back the other way to hook it to the carburetor. So I got it pulled up through, and then we'll cut that little tapered part off that I cut with the scissors. And then you want to make sure you don't pull too much and pull it back through the other side though. But these don't have a clamp or anything on the filter. So slide that back through, and then we've got the line sticking out here. You gotta fish that up through the hole here, right there. Kinda tough getting it through that part. Like that. And it went over the top of this part here. Slide that down like that, and it should be good. You always want to check in the tank though. Our filter looks like it's sitting down good. You want it to make sure it's flat on the tank. Sometimes the line will curl it so the filter's sticking up, so then you get a little bit low on gas and it will stay up like that. It won't suck the half a tank out of it, so you pretty much have to have a full tank to get them to run when they're like that. So I'm gonna throw some fresh gas in here and we'll give it a try. So I've got some fresh gas in it. I did throw the air cleaner back on it. We'll choke it and see if it'll fire up. A lot of times it takes like 10 pulls or so when the carb's dry like that, so I'll try it about 10-15 times. If it doesn't go, then we'll know we have other issues also. Oh, fired up first pull. It must have been just leftover gas from when I primed it up. Well, that must have been the issue. Fired up pretty good now. So the chain is kind of loose on it, so I'm gonna tighten the chain, put the top cover back on, and then we'll take it outside and we'll cut a little bit of wood with it and see how it does. So these are pretty simple to tension the chain. Just loosening the nuts there and turn this screw. I like to tension them so you can still pull down just a little bit where you can see the teeth underneath there. You don't want it to be super tight. You don't want to reef down on that screw. I get that quite a bit where customers bring saws in and their chains are so tight that they're complain that it binds up on them, and that's why, because it builds so much heat. This one's a little bit over tight, but a lot of times they come loose for the first time you start them anyway. So now I think we're ready to take it outside and test it out. I've got a box elder here that went down on me, so I'll try cutting that up, see how well it fires up now. Looks like it's running pretty good. Well, it seemed like it ran really good. It did die on me a couple times when I was letting it idle and it was starting to smoke a little bit, but I didn't get the tank drained completely, and sometimes when the old two-stroke gas sits, the gas will evaporate and kind of leaves the oil behind, so I think we had a rich mixture for a while, and then it seemed to clear up and then it was running fine. So I think this is going to be a good little saw. It's a nice in-between saw. I think these were a 52cc, that was the 52 in them, so it's just got a 16-inch bar on it, but these were basically the same as the Husqvarnas. They were just what is Husqvarna bought them out. They kind of just combined and made kind of very similar saws. So, but this is still a really good quality saw. So that's gonna do it for this one. If you like this sort of thing, like the videos and subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you on the next one.